Hope everyone watching is doing well. Hope you're doing all okay. If you can see this, hear this, if you're the first one here, congratulations. Well done on winning a #1 to Twitch stream competition that has no value at all, but thank you for being here. I've got to check my settings now. I should bet there, by the way, but okay. Now it's tempting, isn't it? Should we just go for it? I think it seems to work quite well here. We have more 4x. Yeah, it is. And what you can do is just river a 10x, and that's quite fun, isn't it? A little bit concerned about that tank check on this river, and like, theoretically, are we really going to get called by tons worse here? I think we're actually just going to check back. It's a very weird way to play this hand, but okay, somehow King High, which is, I don't think, going to call us. So he was not a believer of our turn raise, and we should probably take a note of that. With I've updated my note taking system, so yes, I'm going to update my notes. Jonas, can you hear me okay? Is everything noise? Not too noisy? Yes, I'm going to start with a check here. So this guy is not a... Let's say this is the second time that he's used me as being a bit creative. We'll check again. I'm just going to be folding a few bets here. Yeah, there is some room to like call here, so interesting to see him. He would bluff, for example, 4x and 6x on this river, I expect, and a lot of heart x combos. But I think with our combo, we're just going to end up folding. Like, we'll obviously be massively overcalling in a rather cool with, I think. Obviously, better calling just in general with a heart there. Just a more powerful card to have. We'll start with a check here. We will go for a bet if he checks. Hola, man like beats. ¿Cómo estás? Hello, Nikki. How are you doing? Hey, Nikki, you're so fine. Everything sounds and looks good. That's very nice to hear. Thank you very much. Yeah, this guy's not a big folder, so we're not going to try and make, except your face. We're not going to try and bluff him too much. We will try and get some value on the river, though. Interesting song, by the way. This is still on random. Yeah, just an easy call versus the betcha bet. Unlucky him. Maybe. Kevin likes the moustache. Kevin, you're a fan of non-shaven. That's good to know. The hair's looking a bit funny, isn't it? I was a bit late today, so didn't have much time to groom. My hair's alright, isn't it? The beard, I don't know. Thank you to Zach for wishing us good luck. Hope you're doing well, mate. We got Queen Jug off facing a 30x shove. I think we just got a call here. Okay. Let me arrange my desktop. Hola, Genie, ¿cómo estás? Tomilo. Keep the beat. Fold the queen on here. Thank you to Matira Faella for the good luck, good luck. And we're going to jam the Jack 10. Again, I'm just trying to sort out my notes and stuff. Muchas gracias, amigo. Off, I think we're just going to end up folding. Updating my notes. Okay, yeah, fold that. That should all be good. Jack 3 suited, I think. Gonna let this one go. We could play that. I think it could be a min raise, maybe. This guy should be a reg, but I've lost my reg tag. I don't mind being a little bit more tight there. Starting the day with a check. That's apparently what I did. Oh, okay, there's a very strong likelihood this stream, ladies and gentlemen, that we will go broke, by the way, unless we run well. So we're gonna have to not jump to the high stakes too quickly, because I forgot to ask for a reload pre this. Now, luckily, during the week, I played a bunch of 20s and ran terribly. Well, I was just trying to multi-table them. It didn't go well. The old man playing more than one table, he can't do it anymore. Grazed his hairs. But the good news is I won a 25x at the 20s, so that's the stake you want to win them. So $500 in the bankroll, thanks very much, and that's going to pay for a $500 later. So that's good to know. Okay, we get a walk, very nice, and we're happy with that. We're 62, obviously just going to be folding that, no problem at all. 6, jamming it in. Good luck to us. Veel Glück zu uns. Unsere? Veel Glück? I don't know. How do I say that, Jonas? I don't know. Buena suerte para nuestra. Something like that, huh? Or vex me. I don't know how to say Latvian. Sorry. Folding the 10-2 off. Folding the Jack-4 off. Okay, what do we got, Mr. Rebecca? Okay, just a couple of notes. We'll fold the tempo off. Mr. Marriedy, I am 24-29 in satellite, where top 10 get a woohoo! Very nice. Good luck, good luck. And you got into the satellite with a free roll. Wow. The modern day moneymaker. If you can convert that free roll into a $5,200 ticket, and then convert that $5,200 ticket into a whatever the top prize would be. I mean, I guess that would be like for one of the high stakes WPTs or something, or whatever. That would be pretty cool. Big good luck to you. Hello, Ducky. How are you doing? How are building renovations going along? How is Riff Raff? We're going to check this. We could check raise. I think I will. Probably clicking. We know he views us as slightly creative. We'll create awkwardness on the turn in terms of the SPR, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. So he snap calls, as we expect him to do. I think at this point we'll go start with a check. Are we check folding? We're going to decide. We could definitely bet this. This Jack's obviously interacts quite a bit with his range. Versus one before, very happy to call. So we'll start with a call. Not going to start with check, we're going to start with a call. And the river, hoping he goes check. I'll probably end up folding if he wants to jam it in. But it goes check, and we win, and that's very nice. For information purposes, for anyone watching, he had 5 high, and chose not to fire there. So, yeah, no blockers. Definitely some room on these boards to not overbet. Probably with this combo with a club and the spade will be fine to bet with the jack high. Queen high, king high, start checking certainly at some frequency as well. One of the reasons you don't want to bet all the thing is that this will happen quite good, and he'll know quite often. With the 7 of clubs, a backdoor straight on 2 overs, I think we got a call here. Club rolls off. Okay, we'll just check now. Jack high can certainly be good a lot of times. And obviously too much equity, you want to be bet folding or anything like that. We can river a flush. Last time what size? He went for a small size with 6 of clubs, didn't he? What would he do if he had 10 of clubs something? I guess we just call, like, I was going for a little eyebrow itch before I decide that. But as played, yeah, we're just going to be calling. And he had 6-7 off. So, take that. 2-4 off. One of the bigger hands pre. We'll start with a check again. He's someone that certainly I think we've got a bit of a dynamic with, and so we want to be aware of that in terms of how we play, how that impacts the EV of our future hands. But with this combo, I think we'll go for a check and call it delay. Okay, checks. We'll just check down now. Is there room to block? Maybe, but I think we're just going to be checking and folding. I imagine we'll get enough showdown with Queen Eye, King Eye, and Ace Eye. Mr. Marity, you have to keep us updated, yeah? Let us know. I'd love it. I would really root for you to get there. But yeah. Can we go for a check? When it's a guy that like views us as creative and stationary, what I think there's actually extra EV is potentially there's even more EV in terms of like him potentially overcalling a little bit with combos when he hits. With this hand, we're just going to bet and probably try another bet on the river for value, but he just folds, which is also fun. And we should ISO some hands, but I don't know. Let's check this one because we can just flop second pair instead, which maybe is a good thing, right, Oscars? Oscars is asleep right now in Latvia, but he knows what we're talking about. Shout out to Oscars, by the way, when he's watching this tomorrow morning, if he is. Start with a check. That king is obviously good for our opponent's range, although not as good as you might think at like 9 big blinds, because the bulk of his offsuit king X will be shoving. So we're going to start with a call. Probably going to have to station off river because there's a lot of 10x and queen x also in his limping range that I imagine he's just going to feel like compelled to bluff. He did unbluff the last spot, so we could very well expect a jam here quite frequently. Now, are there combos that he could have? Yeah, of course he could have like king x, for example, king 7 or something like that. But I think he might overbluff his queen x and 10x hand, so I think we're going to end up calling here, and hopefully he hasn't got a hand like king 7, but has a hand like queen 5 off. Or jack 2. Whew. Nice and thin by him. Yeah. Okay. Wasn't expecting to see that. As we welcome the Saint. Thank you very much for following the Saint. A very interesting jam by him. I mean, it's pretty reasonable, of course. We'll play again. Okay. Mr. Prodigy returns, and we had him as rectag, but he lost it. So it's a very obviously overbetting there from our opponent. Works very well if we're going to call our combos. I'm going to take a little note, but obviously take it off screen so no one knows what we're doing. You guys are big sizing here. We'll just be calling. As I'm going to update my notes in a second. We're going to start with a check and assess in this situation. We'll be under bluffing slightly. Oh, we're certainly not going to turn this into bluffs on rivers if a river's a blank. That's not a blank. I guess we're going to go for it. So, yeah. Okay. Obviously such a good card for us. Ah, my sympathies to Riff Raff. I'm sorry to hear that, Ducky. Pretty little Riffy, sorry you are poorly. Yeah, get well soon, Riffy. You're doing a very good job looking after her, so you can take that as a positive, whatever happens, right? And 7-6 off. We're going to start with a defend. Let's flop a straight. It's close. Just near that 6 to be a 5, and we would have been there. Our opponent starts with a check, and there is room to bet. Now he certainly can be check raising a lot with his SPR at this tactic. So I think my could go for a small bet, or we could check. Let's go for a small bet. If he jams or something, we can't call. But if he goes for a non-all-in, I think we're happy calling. We pick up a double gutter. Shout out to Jonas, who's still trying to master it. But if you use your fingers, that can help, because you want to make 5 in a row for a straight. That's 10 I've just done. But we're going to check this. Way too much equity. That's a card that hits our range a lot. Does he have enough combos to go for thin value here? Like, he doesn't have that many 2-pair combos, right? So, like, doesn't really have 10-4, 10-6. 2, 3, 5, 5. I think we're just going to check back this. And make a wise check back. He did have a 2-pair combo. That was one of the few ones. But obviously that was one of the ones that we got beat. Boy, like the dong. Chicken in a language. Thank you very much for the follow. You got a little wobble chicken as the follow alert there, so that was good. But yeah, I think with our 2-pair being like so low in that situation, happy enough to check that back. If we had a stronger 2-pair, let's say we had like a 10-7 or something, if we could have that. I couldn't really have that, I suppose, but yeah. It is what it is. Nice board for us. We'll just be probably range betting this from the button. Happy to get calls. Happy to get raises. We get raised. I think I'll just get it in. We get called. It's an interesting turn. We improve equity-wise. It's not clear if we'd be betting here for value or trying to like, I think we just start with a check here. We didn't want to see an 8, or did we? So the problem we have is that a lot of the bluffs that we could give him include a 10x, so he would obviously bluff, let's say, a hand like Queen 10 or something, and he goes for this 5.6 sizing, which is pretty big. Having said that, we're quite capped on the turn. Now, could we have a jam here? Not really. We can't really rep houses because we don't check any 2-pair on the turn. We don't really check any 10-jack, and so we only have 8x. So I think with this combo we're just going to be folding. And luckily the hand does that for us. From our opponent's range, could he value bet an ace-x? Absolutely. And I think we have just a pure bluff catcher there, and I think he would value bet any combination bet on us. And then in terms of bluffs, actually quite hard to find all the bluffs on that 7, especially like he's not. I don't think anyone is turning a 4x into a bluff there. What should we do here? There's a snap jam. He does have 2s and 3s. He would raise probably 7s plus, so I think we can call here. It's king on 2. Okay, we'll take that. Very close. Maybe 5s plus is the call, but we can just flop a house and be happy about that. Hello to Ryan. How are you doing, sir? Mr. City Roller Chocker. Probably been at the 5s today. How have they been going? Snap and raise will bet at 12x. We will call. So what does a snap and raise mean at 12x? It could be, it depends on how much this opponent is playing and how much they are clued in terms of their pre-flop ranges, but it certainly could be the top of the range because people know to raise the top of the range. But those marginal hands, let's say he's got a hand like king 9 or ace 2 or something at this stack depth, are maybe a little bit more like thought processing, especially with this asymmetric ace SPR. I'm obviously following this. I was just rambling about nothing, as I thought it might be interesting, but it may not be. We'll go for a non-all-in with a 10-9 off. 2.3 would use that sizing with my entire range that I'm using, as in anything that I'm non-all-in. Anything I'm not going all in with would use a 2.3, and so pretty happy to raise fold this combo. And obviously folding to the jam. 9 it off. We'll start with a fold. Fold the 6-9. Fold the 6-5. Fold the Queen 6. Okay, they get queen 6 ace 8. Seems very reasonable. And we're heads up against our friends once again. Although I imagine he's playing on some tables, so yeah. We'll call the 5-4 suited. We'll check call 1. I mean, if he pots it here or something, I mean, we could probably even fold, but yeah, against that size. Against that sizing, we'll start with a call. 4 on the turn. It's an ace. Close. 4 of diamonds you want, not the ace of diamonds. We'll probably just end up check fold on this turn. Our opponent certainly could be bluffy type, but he also probably views us as a bit stationary, given what happened. I mean, if he has got a view on us. And if that's the case, we'll just start with a check, and I'll probably end up folding, because I think he's certainly capable of betting a 7 at this point. And I think with his king eyes and queen eyes, he'll be checking back. We did see him, for example, not bet a 5 high in a spot. He's really thinking about this. Yeah, we'll just be folding this. This goes 1.5, which he's been using a little bit. It could be a bluff, but I mean, I think he has in a similar spot under bluffed, and yeah, we're just going to end up folding. With the jack 9, could raise, could limp. We'll start with limp. And we fold in. Heard you limped every button. What else is limped? Finish that sentence. Anybody? Okay, let's ISO and call off rejected suited for balance reasons and probably EV reasons. 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. Not a bad spot to think about check, raise, bluffing. Could check call as well, depending on his sizing. Could also check fold. I think with this sizing, we'll just start with a check call. I think we'll over as equity on a jack or a 10. We can also hit a spade, of course, which we can continue with, and the king and an ace. Let's make for good bluff potentials. If he checks behind. So we'll check. Yeah, as he keeps betting, I think now we just fold. We could definitely see bet this as well. Not the best board for us, but we'll just end up folding. And again, I think against this opponent, we're going to over-risk quite significantly with our value, and basically not play too complex, let's say. Because he thinks we play very complex, and so we're just going to play very straightforward and bet when you have it and check when we don't, by and large. And, I mean, obviously we're going to take the obvious bluffs. But hopefully his natural, let's say, his views of us, or his creative tendencies, will enable us to over-realize equity just without doing anything too complex. I mean, if we find something complicated, we'll do it, obviously. You know. But that's not our initial game plan. We could ISO jam this, and I think we will. Haven't seen it fold too much yet. Mr. Maridi doubled up. Nice. Keep it going. I don't know how many you had left. I'll have to scroll up and let me have a quick look and see if I can see them in the chat. How many you had left? Let me see. I think you had like top. No, I want the exact things. I'm gonna check this one back. Okay, snap checks there, which is kind of interesting. Like, this is a board where there's not much of a snap check in range. So let's check. I guess he's going to check again. I guess we're going to see his snap check in range. What are our predictions? He might have a flush here, you never know. I don't know. Or air. Or a 2. Okay. Yeah, the 2 makes sense a lot. I was thinking like a pair and a flush draw, but then it was like, there's not actually that many pairs and flush draws out there, considering we have the blockers. But a pair and a straight draw makes a lot more sense in terms of snap checking range. So it was more like 6-5, 6-9, stuff like that. Let's check. I think those seem, to me at least, if I was a reg. One day I'll be a reg. They would seem to be the most obvious snap checking range on the turn. We'll check this as well. 12 out of 27. Nice. Keep it going. Can we all send our good luck to Mr. Maridi, who's playing for 5k, and I mean, that's 25 times this buy-in, right? If we start streaming, I think we should all watch it, but yeah. When he min delays, we'll just go for a call. And then I think we can check fold this. He could have some 7x, for example, some 2x. Maybe he's riveted some 4x. We'll be jamming the king 5. Let's have a look and see. Hey, he riveted a 4x, cool. Interesting to see him, again, creative plays by not taking let's say a typical bet. Yeah, we're calling the king 5. Yeah, that's outs which don't hold. Okay, we'll play again.